Hey, good afternoon. It's 4:30 on January 11th, Thursday, January 11th, and this is the Ogdensburg Bridge Port Authority Finance Committee meeting, and we'll call it to order. And we'll start with business item 1A, November 2023 financials. I'll turn it over to Pat.
If we look at the statement of financial position first, our accounts receivable regular are right now at $199,000. Everything that's going out is being billed out, is coming in. We've got about a 97% current or 1 to 30 day rate on our accounts receivable. Everything else, our AEAS is at 2 months, but that has since come down. It's really a timing issue for them. Our grants receivable are small, just depends on what we have to bill, and in the holiday season, there's not usually as much to bill. If we go down to our accounts payable regular, we are at 581. Of that, you can see that 345 are taken up by 5 vendors, leaving 235 for approximately 80 additional vendors. We are continuing to make progress at paying. We just paid our 61 to 90. We're able to keep it down to 31 to 60. And so we are keeping up with them as best we can. We will have in December, we will see the NICER's bill, but we have approximately half of the money to pay that at this point. Are there any questions on our statement of financial position?
Well, Sam keeps asking about the
I don't think the journal entry's been done. That's a matter of that. We have made a conscious decision that for January, February, and March, instead of sending the old $75,000 to Tompkins to help give us a buffer there, we are down to 50. We need 42 for the mortgage, so we're still putting between 8 and 10 additional in the compensating balance, but we can use the $25,000 if it pays insurances. All right, if we go to the November budget to actual, other than our fuel sales, which we know we over budgeted, we are coming in fairly well with income. We're ahead of the game almost across the board. If you look at our expenses, thankfully, most of our expenses are under budget. Most of those, other than salary, which we've just been lucky in not having to pay too much overtime, most of it is deferred expenses. The maintenance expense under the bridge, we had the boiler repairs that were not in the budget, and that was $15,500. So we're keeping under budget on a monthly basis to help bring that down. Our maintenance expense under the airport, the biggest expense there in the overage is the runway striping was not budgeted. That was $45,000. And the AWAS emergency repairs were $6,900. Under general expenses, the airport liability insurance is up. We also had the new software package for the airport, and part of the recruitment expenses for the new airport manager are in there. Industrial park maintenance expenses are just a tad bit over budget. We had some upgrades and repairs to building 4. We had an electric bill in building 1 for the HVAC unit, and building 3, we had to have RSIR, which is the roof people, to take a look at that. And under general expenses, the unbudgeted free trade zone, and the under budgeted industrial parks portion of insurance. Under the marine terminal, the employee benefits, it is now back to all unemployment being ILA workers. We had one other employee, but he is no longer on the unemployment. The maintenance expense, we had the unanticipated repair to the scale. We had the loader rental that wasn't budgeted for this year, which is just going to continue to increase. Other than that, we've had some repairs to the Hyundai and Cat loaders. And the legal expense under the marine terminal was the work on the ILA grievance. Otherwise, we are keeping expenses as close to budget or under budget as we possibly can. Any specific questions on the budget to actual?
Nothing? Okay.
Our cash flow is as we expect it to be. We're moving into our 24-25 fiscal year with April. You will notice under salaries and wages and our payroll taxes and benefits that some of those will be going up with the mandated 3% raises, et cetera, and the different benefits that we have. Bridge maintenance is pretty much done for the year. There might be the odd one or two things, and we will start to see that pick up again in March and April. Airport fuel purchases, we seem to have, every other month, we don't seem to have an invoice, which is good for the pocketbook, but not for sales at the airport. Our Leo is staying steady between 21 and 23. And our AES, we assume some reductions due to weather and maintenance expenses at the airport.
Why is February grant portion and capital expense so much higher than the other months? I mean, I understand April, but February?
There'd be construction starting on the, right now, we've begun construction on the
GSC
phase one.
building, moving.
So you anticipate February, you'll start seeing some of those bills from the contractor.
Okay.
And yeah, I would say that's kind of how we make that in there, but yeah, that would be, and then you'll see more of those increase once we get the phase two contractor for later in the year.
Is that what's in other income?
Those will be the reimbursements, yes. Which usually come a month to a month and a half after.
Okay.
We just, well, it's not bad. We paid the $299 in December, and Monday we got our portion of the reimbursement back, so it's taking about 30 days to get the reimbursements on the airport revitalization, which we expected.
Good. It's not any different than we anticipated.
No,
A little bit better than we anticipated. All things are relevant.
just a review a little bit of the two audits. This is the first time you've seen, and I don't know why we've never given you the PFC audit before, but the PFC audit is the passenger facility charge. that allows for the collection of these fees up to an amount for eligible passenger at commercial airports controlled by public agencies. We are allowed to use these fees to fund FAA approved projects that enhance safety, security, capacity, reduce noise, or increase air carrier competition. We tend to collect these PFC projects and use them for things like the runway striping this year.
And it's a requirement.
It is a requirement that we do the audit. But I don't think you've ever seen that audit before. The regular audit is pretty much as we expected. The only thing that is very different is that the audited financials include depreciation as an operating expense. We do not for our internal statements because it's not an actual outflow of cash. It's not like buying tools or petrol. It's just to let us know that the equipment or the buildings are depreciating in value. We did this year see the inclusion of GASB Statement 87, whose purpose is to improve accounting and financial reporting for leases by governments. It's a very intricate spreadsheet that Jennifer worked really hard with the auditors to get right this year. And I think she'll be well on her way to doing it for them next year. But we have to assume all the money we're intending to get over the length of the lease. And we have to make that a liability that we're going to accept this money. And then there's a discount rate in case we don't get it all. So it gets extremely involved. Jennifer worked with the auditors for, probably a good week to get the spreadsheet the way we want it, so that we're now okay with that.
Your question, Sam?
Nope.
Okay, then that is all I have.
Anything else for the finance committee?
Not that I'm aware of. Sam?
No.
Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Meeting is adjourned.